Welcome back to the Tales of Jova, Dweeb, Shiro, and P4.
Boss, we've walked across the half of the world and I'm hungry.
It's okay, we just have to keep going on further. Shiro, did you pack the rations?
Just be glad that I made you grind the off screen.
Also, yes, Dweebs can have a turnip.
There you go.
Why do I
Dweebs.
get the disgusting stuff? Do you guys hate me?
It's healthy.
Because you're
shut
the
up.
monk.
It's good for you. It's good for you. Shut up.
It's a good thing I don't eat.
Oh, that's because you can't eat.
Besides, Dweebs, you're the monk. You're supposed to live a more rugged life than the rest of us.
I never claimed I was a monk.
That's literally
That
your
was just-
class
I
title.
You
I
are a
shaved
monk.
you.
Dweeb. Shut up.
That was
I
just a
shaped you like
title
that,
you forced
Dweeb.
upon me.
I will say something about this remake. I'm not a fan of the from world map to random battle transition effect. It looks cheap.
It
looks
takes you
cheap.
out of it a bit.
I like the PS1 remake's effect better, to be honest. Like it looks
Wasn't that
cheap.
from the
It looks
anthology?
cheaply made on Photoshop. If I'm going to be totally honest.
Keep in mind that it's also in some fashion, it's also the emulator fucking up a bit.
Oh, no,
Normally you would get like a white screen instead of actually the war map potentially, being altered.
Anyway, folks, for context's sake, you probably have seen that our latest Final Fantasy playthrough was, in fact, the 7 remake. Literally, the latest Final Fantasy game. So now we're doing, well, the first Final Fantasy game.
Not counting MMO and their expansions.
Well, actually, no, Dweebs. This is literally Final Fantasy 1, so this is...
No, I meant
pretty much
as
the
in...
start of it.
Because, Jovi, you mentioned the latest Final Fantasy stuff. I mean, hell, technically, the most recent Final Fantasy thing released was a new storyline for 11.
True.
That too. Also, Shadowbringers is getting an update that someone is recording. But Dweebs Jove is talking about the game actually, launched, sold,
Yeah.
Anyway, we're about to get a bit ahead of the curve and actually enter the cave of a witch, Matoya. Pay your
Okay,
respects.
Okay, guys, the map says that a witch lives
Frontwards,
here.
backwards, any way you see. Such a strange spell to wishery. Then what was that?
Wait
Basically,
a
Dash
minute.
button
Select. Basically, you can turn it off and on with the select button. The brooms give you this kind of hint, but it's backwards.
Did you hear that? It sounds like...
She's
Oh,
a
wait.
witch, Shiro, and she's blind. My eye,
Right.
my eye.
Hmm.
She needs a crystal eye to see. Ow.
Shirai, could you empathize with her?
I can't see a blasted thing without my crystal eye.
Well, in this case, I guess it's different.
Who could
maybe,
have
to an
stolen it
extent.
from me?
Yeah, in this.
Did you just leave it somewhere and not remember where it was?
My eye. Well, no, it's also because it's a foreshadowing for later, because at least the first half of the game revolves around a chain of get this item and give it to this person, and you will get another item to give it to this other person, and so on.
Apparently,
and Matoya's
one of,
crystal eye is one of them.
apparently one of our crystals isn't her crystal eye.
Well, thankfully, do not confuse, random piece of jewelry that no matter how enchanted might be with your crystals.
Wouldn't that have been funny though? If, like, well, that was part of the reason why the 4 warriors would need to have crystals with them. Like, one of them was, oh, the eye of this witch who will help you on your quest in a very specific
No,
manner.
again, this is the first game and it's more straightforward. The crystals have a more single-minded use in terms of being essentially power source for the elements in the world. But I
I love how
did
it's
your
called
idea
Crazy
of a
Horse.
Crazy Horse.
But it's a unicorn. So-
That's it. That is because, in the meantime, well, it's a good place to mention. Like I said, the original game, the original NES version, was supposed to be a direct adaptation of the Dungeons and Dragons tabletop game, which at that point, I forgot if it was already second edition, but I think so, at the very least. So what they did was to take also almost the entire major the beast of the bestiary and adapted into the game. The problem is that later down the line, some monsters kinda got copyrighted in terms of names, so they had to go around a bit to them.
Figures.
It's also happened the reverse. I do believe a couple of the monsters' names were also fine. Were not possible at first, but then later on they got approved, so Square could actually, start using the proper name. Keep in mind that despite this, Square will still find a way to start introducing the recurring monsters that will also plague future games in a sense of being very tricky sons of bitches. One of them may be the Behemoth, which doesn't appear in this game, but Yoshitaka Amano did an actual artwork of a Warrior of Light pinned down by a Behemoth with traditional design with wings. Behemoth started appearing since 502 onward, but did not have the wings. But in being referencing to this first game, 15 actually features a Behemoth variety which has wings, and they are not just for show. So that's also nice. Anyway, in terms of your stat grow, it depends on your class. So of course, someone like Jova or Dweebs will get more HP, while Shira and Dweebs will actually instead be more focused on magic. Please help us!
Oh boy,
Please
what's this
help
town in
us! I
trouble
cannot
with
say
now?
anything anymore!
Okay, guys, I figured out what weird world we're in.
Those blasted pirates were running around looting and pillaging like they own the place.
This is a world where everyone has different variations of the same voice.
Shut
Yeah,
up.
true. Alright, let's go get some sleep, guys.
Yeah, the town is in danger, but you can catch some Z's, I guess.
Why do all these rooms just happen to
thank
have
God.
4
Good
beds
night.
in them?
They're very
Because, Shiroi, every
convenient.
party of heroes consists of 4 people.
No, don't you see, Shuri? It's because they knew that the prophecy foretold of a party of 4, so every town made an inn for 4 members for when this prophecy would come true.
Alright, let's check a bit what's in town. Maybe there's
It's
something that can help us,
Is
like
Can we
magic
break into
shops,
people's houses like we do in Pokemon?
or
Yeah.
Zelda, no.
You see, Shiro, it's kind of like how in Pokemon, every single building and every single facility is made specifically for Pokemon, and there's not a single facility where humans can actually do anything. So,
Alright, let's get some more spell like Blizzard, definitely useful, and Temper. This does not get too common in later games, but this one introduces the mechanics of buffs and debuffs. And in this game, at least buffs for your team are very important, particularly the Temper spell, which increases the attack value, meaning that, and you can also stack, so the more you cast onto a party member, the more powerful it will be. This will be basically very crucial for later boss fights.
Shiroi, why are you flapping your wings?
as we all do whenever the cursor is above us.
Alright, time to confront who owns the place.
What, are we scared of the cursor or something?
Well, first let me check the shop.
I'm being intimidated.
You know the drill. Make yourself look as big as possible to intimidate bears.
There aren't any bears.
Then we're doing it to intimidate the pirates.
There are some bear monsters here, unfortunately. Anyway, let's confront who owns the place, the pirates. And just what we doing here? You wouldn't be looking to make trouble with bacon buccaneers, would you?
We might.
Yeah, I already said this. You got cannonballs of steel to be taking on the great pirate baker. Kill our own boys.
That's
Jesus
what
Christ.
she said.
Oh yeah, Captain, we'll make them bones go crunch.
Alright, guys. just
Spoilers,
like we planned.
these are a bunch of pussies.
Alright, guys, just like we planned whenever we
I
figured
figured.
we'd be going up against a bunch of pirates. Kick them in the groins and kick them while they're down.
Oh, I can do that gladly.
Go
There you
for
go.
it.
Jesus.
One hit.
Well,
Again, like
you
you
raised-
said, these pirates are very fragile.
As much as I dislike the name of the rank I've been given, I will perform said rank to the best of my ability.
Wait, but
What are
Liz,
you
I thought,
doing?
but Liz,
There we go.
I thought you liked punching things.
I don't like the title I've been given.
What?
Well,
Dweebs?
Wait, the Dwibs? Isn't that your
Or
name?
monk?
And how even then, my that name was really flawed anyway. I mean, every time
Well, Dweebs,
someone
would you
speaks
rather
my
be the
name,
girl again?
Every time someone speaks that name, for some reason, they yell it so loud it deafens me half the time.
Dweebs, it's something you should be proud of. It's your battle cry.
Yes.
And also, who said? And also, wait, are you saying I was a girl in my past life?
You're often
Possibly.
a girl in RLP, so do you want to be the girl again or no?
Good point.
It depends.
There you go. Thankfully, the enemies in this first part of the game are relatively easy and only rely on physical attacks. Anyway. Oh shit, we just make him fade out of existence. I'll be most sorry, your masters. I'll be making no more fuss, I swear. I will need to take me shape for your troubles. Can you find in your heart to forgive an old pirate?
Hey guys, he's giving us
Please.
his ship.
You obtained a ship. Wow, it's this easy. Just beat the shit out of someone. You will steal his vehicle.
What a coward.
What is this? Is this One Piece now?
I've had myself a change of heart. I plan to buckle down and be the hardest worker in town. You believe me, don't you?
You wouldn't betray
Ah, yes.
us.
No, have you... like,
1987, where characterization and character arcs could be done in like 3 sentences.
It's that magical, Dweebs.
Okay, guys, now we can finally fulfill our dreams of sailing on the briny blue.
Now, spoilers, unfortunately. I don't figure any ports of north, but here's the thing: you still need to reach the place where the crystal might be. But there you go. The NPCs in town will give you hints. For example, you will need to find potentially the elves. Too bad may give you better direction, but they are in a bit of a predicament because apparently their prince has gotten ill recently. So another town to purge from evil.
Now, to you, as I've mentioned, I'm not that big a fan of cryptic stuff and extra hidden stuff. So, in terms of how cryptic any extras are in this game, how is it?
Well, it's honestly this PSP version gives you one big advantage. While not giving you a quest marker, if you need be, you can just pull. There you go. You can just pull your war map, and all the dots that are there represents a city. So if you think you're stuck or something, it just means that you need to go to one of the dots that you haven't seen yet.
Oh crap, guys! A shark came aboard the ship! Quick!
Seriously?
How
hit him with
did it
this
come
stick!
aboard the ship?
How is this shark not dead yet?
Is this an asylum movie now?
Well, it's dead now.
No, it's deep blue sea. It can somehow go on land.
So it's gonna eat Pedro.
Okay, so note to
Yeah.
self: we have to be careful about sharks being
There you
smart
go.
enough to come aboard.
You can only park the ship in those convenient, docks that are there, and there are only a couple scattered through. There's one in front of Cornelia for some reason. But there you go. So you need to find your destination there. Eventually, the world loops. I mean, big shock. Anyway, let's proceed forward.
So I guess you could say we went around the world in less
Multiple
than a day.
times, in fact. But like I said, Jova, if you think you're in a pickle, just pull up the war map, and among the places that you're capable to visit, try to scout the ones that you either have not visited yet, or where you think you haven't talked to someone yet. Eventually, you will find your way through, and it doesn't require that much time.
Yeah, the world of this game is pretty small, all things considered, by today's standards.
Well, I mean, it was the first game in the series.
It also helps that this, like Theo said, this remake has more quality of life improvements, because in the original NES game, you basically have to keep track in your. You have to keep notes of where you've been and what, because at the time.
Now, I mean, the NPCs are not on the same level of Castlevania 2, but we're getting closer to that because the meme "Welcome to Cornelia" is there for a reason. Anyway, we are getting a bit ahead of ourselves because we're seeing the dwarves. Lalio. Okay, then.
Okay,
I guess that's our greeting. what was doing a flip. Have you belted with our Smith? In the Smithy it is.
Get
Okay,
it?
guys,
A Smith
remember, the
called Smith.
is called Smith.
Smithy. We are Crystal Eye and the blind can see. I hear that the Dark Elf Astos pilked the one belonging to Matoya.
I honestly get the feeling that
Hold on. If only I could have had some legendary metal adamantite, I'd be able to make such a magical sword. That's a foreshadowing
did he
for
say
way
magical
later down
sword?
the line.
Wait, did he
Sorry,
say magical
Joe, but
sword?
curb your enthusiasm for the time being. But anyway, go on, Pedro, in the meantime.
when the Final Fantasy I remake was made, Richard Mark Honeywood was the head of Square's localization department at the time. So, and that remake also had a lot of these thick accents in its dialogue. So I generally have to wonder if they're retaining what he did when he was at Square.
I think the later versions of Final Fantasy IV also have that, thanks to because the dwarves are also there.
It's
Anyway,
this trend go ahead.
The character that you need to know is this one. And I'm close to opening up the canal, but if I were a bit of nitro powder, I could have nabbed the rock in one plough. Basically, you need to get nitro powder for this guy, and if you do that, he will open up a canal that will help you to pull the ship onto a bigger sea. But go on.
It's this fear that I've had for a while with both Final Fantasy remakes and Dragon Quest games, where I get the feeling Richard laid a foundation when it comes to localization philosophy that even the new people that took over after he left kept throughout the years, because you can, especially when it comes to Dragon Quest, because it might, while Richard's not involved with 11, he might as well be, because it perfectly suits his sensibilities.
I can tell this. Oh, there we go. This is your hint. The nitro powder may be in the castle of Cornelia, but we will need a special key to get to that. So again, like I said, it's the game of item gets to this place, and then the item that you get will be going to another place. I will say this. I appreciate the thoughts, but some of these accents can be a bit thick. So if you're not familiar with them, it might be a bit, disconcerting for you to actually understand what they're saying. It actually reminds me of a thing. Breath of Fire 3 has a sequence where, trust me, it makes sense in context. You're helping fairies to rebuild a village, but they're threatened by a mechanical dolphin that speaks in Australian. And he basically gives you an entire rant in Australian, and then the game pauses and says, what the dolphin just said was spoken in with Australian. Would you like to actually read it in proper English? And if you answer yes, he will say again the same thing, but just with a more proper translated English version. I want to say, considering Australian is not too difficult compared to the different English accents. I do believe it was a bit unnecessary, but I don't know, I found it amusing that they put that there. Anyway, we reached Elfheim, the place of the elves. Oof.
Guys,
I just don't know what we can do. Please help our prince.
Has your prince
Not a
gone
fan
ultimate?
of elves to you?
Well, it's a bit of a lie, because I did pick an Elizan, which is the equivalent for my character of Final Fantasy 14. It's just that a common joke among people who enjoy fantasy media is where there's usually a huge rivalry between dwarves and elves, and each side will say very nasty things to the other that borderline to the comical. Like one thing in Warhammer is that the dwarves have a thing that is called the Book of Grudges, which is this book where they basically note every single bad thing that has happened to them and will remember it for all millennia to come, because
That
they're
is so
just
petty, it's amazing.
Exactly. And unfortunately, one elven prince decided to be a bit of a dick at some point. So he has something like 5 pages dedicated with insults dedicated to him, and amongst these, it's something like the unnecessary toll or something like that.
Okay. Sorry, go on.
Go on. Lives.
I've mentioned before in the past that Europe had a rather interesting relationship with Final Fantasy. In the first thing that was released here, had its name changed from Final Fantasy Mystic Quest to just Mystic Quest Legends.
Mhm.
Pretty much. Yeah.
And the first actual one we got was 7.
Yeah.
We didn't get. Okay, this game was originally released in 1987.
Yep.
We didn't get the first game, i.e., this one, until 2003 via the Origins PS1 remake.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I have to
Isn't
say,
the PS1 remake kind of
well, in general, while it has
Infamous.
the quality of life improvement, the PS1 versions of Final Fantasy, the Final Fantasy games released with 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6, kinda are not the best in mind. If you check them out if you're really curious, but otherwise just stick to either this or the Game Boy Advance versions, because those are actually the quality of life, the quality of life improvement, and the good-looking interface.
That being said, it also depends on if you know what you're doing, because if you're going to play the Game Boy Advance version, be sure to go to romhacking.net to get some patches that restored the music as originally it was made, because they kind of screwed up the music in Final Fantasy VI Advance, and the graphics are also a bit
I guess there's the traditional screen crunch dictated by the GBA.
No, it's more so the colors too. They kind of screwed up the colors a little bit. Personally, I prefer just well, actually, no, the GBA remix. Like, okay, if you're really a stickler for the new content that was added into those things, just go to romhacking.net and improve those games to be more accurate to the originals while still enjoying the new content.
Here lies Link. Oh,
Cute.
I guess. Sorry, Nintendo. I guess your hero died. In some version of the game, instead you will get. Help me out on this one. Which Dragon Quest character is mentioned? I think Eric. Or someone else.
Eric,
but
yes.
basically, it's either, depending on the version, it's either Link or one of the Dragon Quest heroes, basically.
It's because at the time Final Fantasy was a huge rivalry with Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, remember, Enix was a separate
Quest.
company at the time, so...
Not to mention, Teo, there is a timeline where Link is dead, and then he gets reincarnated. So maybe Final Fantasy 1 takes place somewhere in the world of
course,
of
it's all connected.
So,
you know, that could work.
There's 3 timelines in the Zelda timeline. One where Link beats Ganon at the end of Ocarina of Time. One where he dies.
Yeah, and the one that continues
after he goes back to the past.
Yeah. Anyway, please, will you not attempt to aid or slumber him? Basically, again, the Prince of the Elves has been put to sleep thanks to the work of the evil Dark Elf Astos.
You know, just for the fact that it's a sleeping prince instead of a sleeping princess, will help you guys out. It's not as cliched.
Exactly.
But the elves don't seem to know where Astos went, so we need to scour the land a bit. Thankfully, like I said, if you think you're lost, this region only has another major landmark that you have to visit, so it's not like a big patch, search quest for you to do. There it is. The princess left under Astos' curse for 5 years.
Jeez,
Jesus,
talk
that's
about
a
some
lot.
sleep apnea.
There must be some medicine that can rouse the sleeping, but where?
Okay, guys, we need to think of a way to wake up this prince.
I know this one. Shira, you're the bait. Kiss him.
No.
But true love's first kiss, and no wait, you've only
Okay,
met
plan
him.
B. Dweebs, punch him.
Sure, gladly.
Can I just burn him alive?
It's not very effective.
Yes, Pedro, sorry?
Can I just burn him alive? That would be easier.
No,
What
we
good will
need
that
him alive.
do? We need to keep him alive.
I'm a black
Can
mage.
you not make that a solution to everything, please?
I'm a black mage. That's what I do.
You're a black
Anyway,
mage, yes,
in the
but you're supposed to
meantime,
be doing it for the
you may
good
have
of the
noticed that I
kingdom.
jump cutted thanks to my magical power of editing. Now all of you are have gained a lot of levels thanks to a little trick that was already from the original, as a glitch, mind you, but it was kept because players actually enjoyed exploiting it. The so-called peninsular power level. I will not show it directly in this run, but basically what you need to do is to park your ship near Provoca, and go to feet to the city where you got the ship, Jova, and then by foot reaching a peninsula that's near there. Now, the thing is that peninsula has basically a sort of a script error where it registers enemies that are tied to a particular section that will be confining against that. So basically, you jump from enemies that are leveled, with your current situation, to enemies that are massively, more leveled up than you. The trick, however, is that these enemies are very weak to fire. So if you manage to exploit well your attacks and, for example, your black magic, you can manage to start killing them, at a regular pace and getting a lot of experience. As a result, level up a lot and potentially getting some interesting loot like an ice shield for your warrior, meaning that you consistently get better and better early on in the game. So there's that.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
So I see
I will use this trick a couple of times to actually, make you stronger enough.
I see I'm
Yes,
now
go on.
holding a sweet new battle axe.
Yeah, and now, there you go. Starting with the spells of the second level, the spells will start affecting the entire enemy team or the entirety of, your own team.
See
Meaning
there,
it will be much
Pedro?
more easy to deal with hordes.
See there, Pedro? Now you can burn them alive. But don't burn the prince.
Okay then.
Well, Joe, he can just use cartoon logic and just set his ass on fire.
Yes, but that could kill him still, even in Looney Tunes.
I guess it depends. I mean, in 8-bit theater, they do that kind of thing all the time, and they just take a Looney Tunes approach when it comes to the violence. For those who don't
He's
know,
just saying that because the Black Mage eventually becomes the lure of hell in that webcomic.
yeah. Basically, everybody, for those who don't know, there's a webcomic that has like a shit ton of issues that went on for years, actually.
It actually has concluded since 2014, so you can actually catch up to it.
It's basically a tribute to Final Fantasy. What started as a tribute to Final Fantasy 1 eventually evolved into something quite expensive, I'll just say that.
Yeah.
But I also definitely recommend watching because back in the Newgrounds days, there were animated adaptations of the first couple of issues with full animated and voice acting, and the voice acting was fantastic for its time. It's still those flashbacks. So go to YouTube and search 8-bit theater. All those adaptations that were made from Newgrounds, they're excellent. And
it also got to a point where there's something about series which is very good animated. Actually, reference that. Anyway, hold on. I was stripped by Astos, king of the dark hells, and now my castle is fallen into ruin.
Ah, boy.
If only I could retrieve the crown from the Marsh Cave, I would be able to restore my castle.
Fine,
Please,
we'll do it.
Might you bring me the crown?
Come
The
on.
king, go do it your fucking
well,
self.
Debs, welcome to the world of video games. Every NPC is a useless fuck who can't do anything right, so you have to do everything for them.
Welcome
wonder
to
the
being the
castle's
chosen
falling
one on
apart.
high.
Please get this crown. It is totally not a trap.
I wonder
Besides,
if those...
what good's the crown gonna do you?
Well, it's magic. It
I
does
wonder-
stuff, I guess.
I wonder if those bad NPCs might be important.
Remember, Debs, NPCs in video games are always useless, and we have to do everything for them. So
Don't worry, Dwibs. I'm sure he'll give us a nice reward, just like the other guys did.
Anyway, there you go. Thanks to the magical power of editing, I make you reach the Marsh Cave. Key.
Thank you, Mr. Bat. Does anyone on the party speak Bat?
Unfortunately,
I do.
Unfortunately,
I do. I can translate what you said.
It's funny, Dwibs. The character in Final Fantasy 2, the big, strong guy, actually is able to communicate with animals. These skills is used one time in the entire game.
yeah.
But,
Anyway, I know what the bat.
Yeah, go on.
He said, What are you doing here? Get lost. I'm trying to have my dinner. The last people that came in here.
But I will. Well, one thing that wasn't properly ported from D&D was actually the ability to talk to animals. And unfortunately, one thing that instead Capcom used for its beat 'em up, the best single spell that a cleric can have, stick to snakes. Unfortunately, it's not here. Also, be careful, warriors. This cave roam with the undead, which look like they came from the set of Thriller.
Of course, zombies. All right, just like
They
we
ate your
trained
neighbor.
for. Thankfully, they didn't.
This is also where your white mage comes in hand, because she knows the spell Dia, which is its powerful counterpart, which is very effective against all undead enemy types. This is also where Vanille name is the reference of, because their entire name is Vanille Dia Herba, and it's represented by the fact that she specializes in white magic and also the saboteur role. So the more you know.
I
Also,
guess it's a nice reference.
yeah. Then also, isn't a thing that this remake added that was necessary as a quality of life improvement? In the original game, once you open a treasure chest, the actual treasure chest doesn't stay open, so you have no idea if it's if it still contains something or not. And more often than not, this backfires to you, because you enter in a room that's chock full with powerful enemies, only to find out that it's something that you already got.
Seems like
But
a weird
thankfully,
mechanic.
in this version, they actually do. In the GBA version, they leave it open, and they actually showcase a couple of the rooms that were like troll rooms, because there are rooms with treasure that were already open and would have been there just to trick you into that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, it's nice that they, got rid of that mechanic for
Yeah,
this
it's
game.
still there potentially to trick you, potentially still to get in the room, but at least you have a better idea of what's going on earlier on.
I guess if you're seeking out those traps, then go in by all means.
Some later dungeons also will have more physical traps, like collapsing floors or places where the floor is literally lava. There we go. Again, this was to represent the spirit of Dungeons and Dragons, where your characters entering a dungeon might be, the death of everyone, potentially, if you were not careful.
Wow, Shirai, you literally killed those guys with the Ray of Judgment.
Yep.
Good job.
Don't you see, Shiri was practicing magic, but then she found Jesus.
Yeah.
Constantly judging all of you and your sins.
Oh, by the way, where did you get that white robe?
Well, she's a white mage. White mages are supposed to have white robes.
No, I bet, where did you get it from?
From the job store. You see, Dwebs, what happens?
You're supposed to have it.
That's the thing, Dwebs. Usually the way it works, Dwebs, is when you change your job into a white mage, you magically get a white robe. That's how it works. You see,
exactly.
Like in Final Fantasy 3 and 5,
it just appears. I don't understand
it.
Even
in 14, you can change outfits when you change.
Well, yeah, but this is not 14.
Remember, Dweebs, 14 has made sure that the equipment is tied to your level, so you can, until you actually level up properly, and if the equipment is compatible with your class, you cannot change it properly until then.
I mean, it's at the very least better than what they did with the costumes in 13.2, where they tried to have a black mage and white mage outfit for both.
They're more like inspired, quote unquote.
Yeah, and they didn't even remotely resemble the original Amano artwork at all. And not to. It's not even to I don't even understand what the hell the person who designed that was thinking. We know it wasn't Nomura, because for 13.2 Nomura only drew faces. So I don't know. We know that somebody else drew the clothes, but I don't know what the hell was up with. It
might have been said in the interviews. So I'll try to search between parts, just out of curiosity. Anyway, the good news is that you found the crown. The bad news is that it's guarded by 3 psychodemons. Watch out, warriors. This thing can potentially insta-kill you with their physical attacks.
crap.
And they're also very powerful to boot.
Alright, hit them with all they've got, guys. Good job, Pedro.
Indeed.
There you go. Also, the healing spells are divided into category. One that heals a singular person, but is more effective, and one that heals your entire team, but it is less effective. So you need to strategize on what to use at what time. Apparently, the Psycho Demons are out for Pedro's blood for this fight.
Exactly.
Weird.
It seems
Weird.
they went for me because I'm not physically strong. So they thought I was
Also,
a target for them.
Bad news. The bad news is that until way later in the game, you do not have the equivalent of escape room from Pokemon. So you have to actually get your ass out of the dungeon the way you came.
Sorry, Jova, but I cannot resist. Making this joke, considering my role. It's because I'm black, isn't it, enemies? Come on.
Yeah, pretty much.
But in some actual dungeons, you actually be merciful and place a teleport after you defeat the boss, but it's only for some special occasion. Anyway.
All right, here's your damn crown.
You fools fell right into my trap.
Damn it!
I
not
am
again.
Astos, king of the dark elves. There's your twist.
Plot twist.
And he blew up the castle.
Yeah,
Yes,
that
you probably
effect.
should've-
Yeah, that's exactly the thing about this remake. The effect,
The
the visual.
combined power of crown you now hold and the crystal eye you already possess. I will become the true elf king.
I'll become the
Sure.
true king of this world.
It's useless to resist me. I can take what is mine by sheer force.
Okay, guys, ready to commit regicide?
Watch out. This is your also major first boss fight. Watch out, warriors. Astos loves to use the Death spell, which means it can insta-kill any one of you, with a high percentage of success.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
All right.
I'm gonna have to say, I wish they would have.
Like that.
I wish they would have kept this remake strictly sprite-based, because the visual effects look cheaply made and look out of place with the sprite work, if you ask me. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the visual effects specifically, like that. Like they look. Look at this one, for example. Look, it looks out of place with the sprite-based graphics.
Yes?
I don't know. I just don't care for the fact that they look like they were made on Photoshop.
And there you go. By the sheer amount of punching someone in the face, Dweebs manages to defeat the King Astos.
Yes!
I'm okay.
Now please clean your hands.
I thank you for your praise.
You obtained There you go. We also got the crystal eye that Matoya needs.
Jova, why does it look like you're not holding anything in your hand?
It's because I levitated above. Seriously, though, what a cheap shot that guy did on me with the death spell.
Don't worry.
We won the
I'll have
battle.
Shiro heal you. Come on.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shiroi.
Well, actually, it's
How
healing
come I'm
the
not getting
Jova,
healed?
because you'll get healed via a potion. You'll take a
Transparent
potion and you'll
purple
like
crystal.
it.
Chug, chug, chug.
Just walk it off, Dwibs. Walk it off. All right. Now
We're
that
not
we've got...
that
I'm in
mean.
your interdimensional pocket.
Also, thanks,
I
Matt.
know, that's right. I do all the walking for you guys.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's transition
Well,
back to Matoya.
To remind me, can you change who appears in the field in this remake? I forgot if you can.
I think so. I don't remember if I tried. What's this? Don't worry, I have something to give you in exchange. Take this potion. It's the most amazing potion in my entire collection.
Oh.
The Jolt Tonic. This is what you need to wake up the Elven King.
Huh.
I can see again, even when it was just one crystal eye, I have both. You're still here? I don't need you anymore, so be on your way. You're not even as attractive as I thought you'd be.
What? That's it. We're leaving.
By the way,
So we're taking the eye.
We're taking the eye with
Jesus.
us.
Soon to break
We're
into
gonna sell
deeper
it.
sleep.
We're gonna sell it in the nearest town.
You're
and split
welcome,
it
by the
for-
way.
Split
The eye-
it fourfold.
So it's literally the eye of the beholder that we just gave her.
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Okay, just remember.
All right,
And clearly,
let's
this
see if
beholder is a bit ungrateful.
This Jolt Tonic may be just what we need to break the curse and awaken the prince. I will try that once.
Thank you,
Chug,
random stranger
chug,
who just
chug,
broke
chug,
into
chug.
here.
Wake up,
We already
soldier.
tried punching him, and that didn't sit right with some people, so.
Your Highness? Your Highness?
He's dead, Jim. Oh wait, no, he's alive.
I was having a terrible nightmare. Am I still dreaming? You're the legendary warriors. Something tells me I'm not dreaming. I shall
In the
follow the
flesh.
legend as it has been told to me and my forefathers. Really, that's my only reason of living. The time for me to pass on the mystic key to its rightful owners had come at last.
Thank you for this key.
And the mystic key is what you need to unlock the nitro powder.
Hey.
That's nice. Can we also get some money, food,
Yeah,
something
seriously.
that we can actually
Take the
use?
pills.
I'm awake and strong again, all because of you. My work here is done.
He
Even as a
technically
cape.
he technically did do something, so damn it, we have to move on. Seriously though, we need food.
Sorry.
We're dirt poor, but we're the warriors of light, so that's okay.
I
Again,
figured.
just grind it up on the peninsula power level, it will be drowning in gills.
I know, right? Seriously though, it figures. We are the chosen warriors to save the world, yet people can't be bothered to give us a discount to help save said world.
I mean, to be fair, Job, again, Cloud, the most powerful mercenary and ex-soldier, was reduced to actually fetch cats, for a little girl.
Yeah, but that's because he's a nice guy, though. And, you know,
And because Tifa forced him into that.
True.
Yeah, exactly. He wouldn't have done it if Tifa hadn't asked him to.
Because he loves himself some Tifa.
Basically, now I'm teaching you something else.
no, he doesn't.
There are some situations where you have to think outside of the box, like this. Just because with their exteriors to the walls doesn't mean that you will go automatically to the war map if you do that. And you can reach potentially hidden rooms like this.
Finally, some money!
And a mithril hammer. I think Shira is old. It's time for a new weapon for her. Unfortunately, she will have to hold this for most of the game because proper weapons for your white mage are very scarce. For
Sorry,
some reason.
Shirai. As for you, Dwibs, let's
You
keep
still
moving.
need to be unharmed.
Yes, because all monks, even again, I stress I do dislike the title, but as a monk, I must train myself to be
Exactly.
prepared for anything and to be as hard as a rock.
It's just like
Exactly.
Liu. It's just like Liu Kang in Mortal Kombat. Come on, now do a Bruce Lee scream.
Ah,
Perfect.
Anyway, I'll just put on these bronze gloves, and we'll see what we have more to do in the next part.
Where we actually get the nitro powder and open up the channel. See ya.
See ya.
See ya.
Yeah.